Hey, Pro Organizers, it's Melissa, and we took a little bit of a break from this series, but I'm back with part 3 in my series with my Minnesota Organizing Besties, Cori, Missi, and Kielyn. And this one I really love because we are talking about a lot of really important things like being kind to yourself. And Cori brings up something that I love, which is talking about how we're setting up our clients to be successful. And I want her to explain what she's talking about because it's so great. But I hope this series has been helpful for you. And I hope that you got some gems out of it like I did every time I talk to these ladies. So I hope you have a great week organizing, and I will talk to you soon.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing that for ourselves?
You just really personally attacked me, and I am not here for it. Okay? That was very rude.
I'm also not optimized for peak human performance.
That's the title of the podcast. Not optimized for optimal performance.
I thought it was
Spoken like a
organizing, not
true-
lumberjacking.
What was your actual title? Like it was like pre-Olympic? Olympic qualifier?
Oh, no, organizing.
I think that's great. I think that's a really good point.
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay, good.
Because I think about that too. Like, even if you're helping anyone improve their human performance, right? Like, probably anybody needs help getting into parasympathetic state. Well, we can do that by transforming their house. That's like insane.
Yeah.
Like, just the world we're in and the amount of anxiety and worry and fear. And it's like a lot of people are living like that. And if you can do your organizing and you make this huge impact, it really is amazing. The other thing is like somebody's bedroom, like where they sleep, like 90% of how we feel is based on sleep. And if you could just help somebody sleep like a little bit better, think of the improvements you could have in their life.
Huge. Absolutely huge.
That's a lot.
There was someone on one of our calls that was talking about, they had a client come in and it was a similar situation to that. Like they had to move to a virtual consult versus an in-person consult. And they're like, oh, I think the client's going to be really upset because that's not how we typically do things. I'm like, your client doesn't know what the experience is. You build the experience. You're allowed to tell them this is the experience of working with my business. If they don't love that, they could go find someone else, but you're allowed to say, I need to pivot, and that makes sense. Yeah.
So people get it. They're human. They know that you're human too.
Yes. Well, and like when you were talking earlier about your organizer who gave you a lot of ideas, I think that there are a lot of people who are afraid, especially when they're trying to grow into that, I have to send someone out to do someone else besides me out to do a consult. What if they don't do it as well as I do? What if they do it better than you?
Yeah.
What if they are a better closer than you are? What if they, now you might have to deal with that with your ego a little bit, but
Right. And they also know your standards because you showed them that already. So they're able to be like, oh, we need to keep going until it looks like this.
Right. True.
Well, one of the things that I really believe that I want you guys to go out and find your own group of people, and I'll tie this all together, I promise. But at the How To Summit, they did which we were, all 4 of us were at, they did a session with these women, these 7 women that they called them the Summit Sisters. Like they met each other at the summit and they became really good friends and essentially created a mastermind group like we have. Only our mastermind doesn't really talk about business. We're not like,
well, we complain about.
Right? Yeah. Well, oh yeah. We talk about all things. But point of my story is that someone stood up and was like, hey, could I be in your group too? And they like very diplomatically said, no, you can't be in our group. But I want you to form your own group. I want you to find your own people to be a part of. One of the benefits and one of the things I love a million things about the 3 of you, but we often will get all the same inquiries. And we'll be like, did you hear from blah, blah, blah? And there's one that I just want to particularly talk about because it was so bonkers. And this is a great example of you can just say no, and then it's okay. So it was one that came in and it was a retail store, and she wanted an organizer to come organize and get rid of Christmas decorations and that type of thing. But the starting time for the job was, Cori, do you remember?
I thought it was like 10 p.m.
Or 11.
10 p.m.
10 p.m.
That
was could not come during the day.
Starting time of the job. I'm going to provide you some free coaching in which I say, please don't do that in the future. But I do love, so I have a really good friend who has a great Southern accent, and she was imitating a friend of hers who had a phrase that I use all the time now, and I love. It was, she goes, "Was Audacity on sale at the store this week?" And I was thinking about that, and I was like, some of our clients really do have the audacity. Please come and organize my store at 10 o'clock at night. Do you guys have any other like tellable stories about things that you're like, that's a hard pass from me?
Well, we had to let a few go.
Oh,
We
yeah.
had some bed bugs and we had
Oh.
some
But you go between professional athletes with millions of dollars straight into bed bugs.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The full spectrum of organizing, if
The
you
human
will.
experience.
Oh,
that.
I have a good story actually, and it's a hoarding story. So we were helping this client. I had done the consultation, and then I sent the team, and they were working on basement, living room, kitchen, all the things, office. One room we hadn't seen was the daughter's room. She didn't show it to me on the consultation. I didn't think we had to organize it. I didn't even know really it existed, to be honest with you, because it wasn't part of our consultation. Then I show up one of the days because one of my organizers was out. So it was me and my mom. And we were working on the general thing, and daughter pulls me aside and says, "Hey, you're here today and I love you. And I have a confession." And I was like, "Okay, what's your confession?" She's, "I'm a hoarder." And I said, "That's okay. That's all right. We're here." And she's, "No, I've been sleeping on 4 feet of garbage. And I was wondering if you could do my room today because I only trust you." And I was like, oh, okay. So I go take a look at it. She wasn't lying. She was sleeping on 4 feet of garbage. Her bed was underneath. I literally took out 16 giant black trash bags of garbage from her room to get to the bed.
Oh.
And then, and so I did everything. And I was just like, because I looked at my mom and I was like, well, I can't send a team member in there because it was, I probably wouldn't normally do that. And I'm like, "You got a mask?" She's, "Yeah, I got mask and gloves. You want it?" I'm like, "Yep." So I go put on my mom's mask and gloves, and I brought the whole roll of trash. We took so much trash out of there. It was like one of those, it was way more intense than anything I had done in a long time. And again, I was just filling in for the day. I was supposed to be the assistant.
You're like, I'm not in charge here. Oh, crap. I am in charge.
I know. And then I was like, well, I can't send my mom in there, so I'll do it. Because I'm not going to send this girl back to bed after what I'd seen, right?
Right.
Sometimes you see stuff and you can't unsee it. And I'm like, all right, I know I can help
Sometimes-
at least for temporarily. So anyway, it became this whole thing. And she like told her therapist, and she was like, "I'm now sleeping in a clean room and it's a fresh start. And I got a new job and I did all the things." And I'm like, wow.
That's
Mhm.
amazing.
So sometimes it's good to show up at the project.
Yeah. Well, and that's a good example too of, first of all, I love that. I love that for her and I love that for you, but it's also an example of like sometimes in our job that like you should have boundaries. I think bed bugs are a good boundary personally. That's where I would rather
There
draw the
weren't
line.
any bugs in the room though.
Yeah,
That,
no, I
that's
know,
a different
I know.
one. But yes.
Oh, no, I
yes.
know it's different. I'm just saying in terms
Yeah.
of boundaries, I'm like, there are health and safety
Right.
boundaries that I think are very important. I'm not discounting those. But I think there are a lot of people who would just say, absolutely not. I'm not touching it. I don't do hoarders. I don't. And then would have left the room. And I think that there's a moment that if someone says to you, I trust you and I'm being vulnerable with you, especially in a situation like that, like I personally, I would feel obligated to stuff down any boundaries, personal feelings, anything, and just go, no, this is what I have to do. That to me is you have changed that person's life for,
And
But I
friends
had to, like in the moment, like I did exactly what Melissa said. You can't back out of it at that time.
No.
Yeah, you are going to see that stuff from time to time in this industry for sure. It just depends
what a-
on
what a
what
gift,
scale?
Cori. What a
Wow.
gift you gave. That's incredible. And I love that she trusted you enough to be like, "Hey, you're here. I want to show you something." And that you were able to treat that and hold her space with such kindness and respect. And yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I
And I know my team members would have done the same, to be honest with you, but it's different when you're like the owner. I'm like, okay, I'm going there.
Well, yeah, we're going to do it.
And like you said, safety, right? Put your gloves on, put your mask on. And was it really that hazardous? No. There's mold and food, but throw it in a garbage bag. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And wash your hands really well.
Wash your hands. Yeah,
Yeah.
when we were done. Yeah, we left and my mom's, oh. And I go, yeah, that was a different day than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
She's like,
Well, there was one, I will not tell the story because it's just, it wouldn't be right. But Missy and I have one that we've been co-involved on. And what I will tell you is, without telling the story, and this is a terrible, terrible thing to do, to be like, I have a great story, but I'm not going to tell you it. But I would just say Missy has handled it with such grace and such beauty. And it's one of those examples of Missy is giving of herself to help this client because it's a bad situation and she doesn't have to. And she could easily say, sorry, no, I'm not going to do this for the following reasons. But she just feels so called to it. And I know Kielyn's had situations like that. I've had situations like that. Like, I just think there are times that we can say the work we do. And I make jokes about, if you ask my mother-in-law what I do, she says clean houses. And I'm like, it's not that. It's peak human performance. That's what I'm going to start telling her. But
exactly.
But in all sincerity, we cannot forget we provide an insanely important mental health service to people. And that there are times where you just say, I'm going to suboptimize how I feel about certain things. And I had a client once, I threw away my clothes afterwards, threw them in the trash. I was like, the washing machine cannot touch these. But those are the times that you go, I've done something good today. And I know that I can feel good about the job that I have done. And
It's very powerful when you can feel like you really genuinely changed someone's life.
But
That's
also
amazing.
don't feel bad if it's a room full of bed bugs and you decide you can't go in there and you're not going to do that. Because there is a boundary too, right?
Could not agree
We are
with
not
you more.
advocating for no
Assess
damn
the
boundaries.
situation, right? Assess the situation. What are the benefits and risks associated with this? And then make a decision on the fly. Isn't that all of entrepreneurship?
But here's the flip side. Okay, even the bed bug story. Here's the flip side. Here's how you can still deal with that. You can provide those people, because by the way, those people shouldn't be living in that house either. You don't want them. They're living in an unhealthy environment. So whether it's bed bugs, mold, mice, whatever, we've all seen it. And by the way, these are sometimes in very nice, very expensive homes.
Yeah.
You can then say, hey, I really want to help you, but first we need to get you help for this. And here are the resources for it. Call these people, go get that taken care of, and then we're going to be back. And then you are literally, instead of just saying, not touching this with a 10-foot pole, you're saying, we will, but we need to give you these resources first in order to do it. And instead of just the hard no, because we all have had situations where we have been the cleanup people from another organizer who has done something hurtful. And I'm certain, I don't think we work in a helping industry. I don't think people are being hurtful intentionally, but they're being hurtful unintentionally. And as the cleanup people, you just are like, I have apologized for other organizers. I've said, oh, that's not the experience you should have had. And I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah.
Without naming any names.
Edit that out.
It will leave, or maybe it won't. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, to wrap this up, I would love for you guys to tell me, what are you excited about in 2026? Personally, professionally?
I am looking forward to my lead organizer taking on more of my stuff.
Tell me
I
more.
have been hesitant to give up consults in particular. And I have a girl who's really good and absolutely equipped and thinks like me. And I think she's more than ready. And so being able to do that and take a step back of some of those things will be really nice.
Was it hard?
Yes. Very hard.
How'd you get over it? You just said I
I
have to.
want that time. I want my time.
Yeah.
And I
Really
got
good
over
look.
myself, because you have to get over yourself and know that she'll be just as good as me, if not better.
Yeah. I love that. It's hard for me to do. I have a really hard time with that. And it's not because I think I can do it better. I just am like, I'm already here. I'll just do it. And
That
but
too.
I think letting go, and I love that for you. I love that you're going to have the time and be able to re-energize yourself. That's awesome. And because we talked about it earlier, you have a new dog. And so you're integrating a new dog into your family.
Yeah, I'm going to make him a therapy dog.
I
So
love
he's
that.
going to be able to do all the things. So that'll be great. I think tripods are relatable.
Yeah, they are. He's
100%.
overcome challenges. He's adorable. It's great.
Yes. He's snoring right behind me right now.
Oh, buddy. Missi, what are you excited about?
I finished my coaching certificate in December, did some training to do coaching specifically for the neurodivergent population. So ADHD, autism, all the brain-based conditions. And I'm in another class for it right now. I I have one more left after that. I know it feels weird to be like, I got certified and then there's more classes, but it's like the baseline, then there's this, then you have a certain amount of hours you do with clients, and then you take a test, basically. Because coaching is a little area industry really that's not, what's the word? It's not
Regulated. It's poorly regulated.
yeah, it's not regulated. Anyone can be like, "I'm a coach,"
Correct.
but I don't. I have too much integrity for that. So I had to send myself to school to make sure that I'm not messing anybody up. But I found that there were a lot of overlaps with what we do of coaching as well. And then also, we just attract a lot of ADHD people. We're going to be adding that as a branch of our business. And another organizer on my team also happened to go through the same coaching process, and we graduated at the same time. So
Oh.
we're talking about what we can do together to serve more people. And so that's going to be a fun new thing for Clear Spaces in 2026.
I also would just like to say, like, when you say you went to a certification, you went through a certification, this is
Yeah.
not like I know enough to know. It's not just like took a couple online classes and I checked a
Mm.
box. It was really incredibly challenging. It was super hard work. You have done a lot of, it has been hours and hours and hours of your life, like hundreds of hours, if not thousands. And you've
That
worked really hard on top of growing your business. So.
that is accurate. The last class almost crushed me with work. So it's good. It's really good information. It's really helpful. It's really insightful. Oh, something you said at the beginning about trusting our intuition. I was going to say this. I learned this in class. People on the neurospicy spectrum, we have a higher intuition than average individuals. Isn't that
Oh,
fascinating?
interesting.
Yeah. Our little spidey senses are more tuned in.
I could see that. Now that you say it, of course it makes sense. But like at first I was like, oh, it could go the other direction that you like don't trust
It
yourself as
could.
much.
Well, this is a misnomer of ADHD, right? Is that people think that it's an issue of attention or a
Yeah.
lack of attention, and that's really not it at all. It's an issue of regulating, like directing where your
Yeah.
attention is, because we can fall into hyper focus on anything that we're interested in and talk your ears right off.
Right.
But if it's something we're not interested in, like laundry or the dishes,
Well, I think it's a branding problem because ADHD, like it started as ADD, attention deficit disorder, and everybody
right,
was like, "Oh, it's kids that are bouncing off the walls." And
right,
then now it's ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and then that makes it even more, and like that doesn't really encompass what it is because whenever people say, "Oh, I have a client with ADHD, how do I do?" I'm like, ADHD can manifest in 55,000 different ways." Like everybody, divergence is a better word, but some people really hate some people don't like that concept.
right. So
So,
I like to say neurospicy instead.
yeah.
And then also to your point, like that spectrum of ADHD and even the word hyperactivity, it's confusing for a lot of women because the hyperactivity takes place in their mind rather than in their body. They might not be the person that's constantly fidgeting or wiggling their knee. Maybe they are, but maybe this is why I love naps so much, but I'm a professional sitter and layer around her. I can watch hours of TV and not be fazed by it because my brain is just like delighting in thinking about stuff. And even on this panel here, you've got Cori, who her ADHD manifests in a way that she has to create structures and block out time on her schedule. And every Tuesday, she's going to spend an hour doing the hard thing related to reducing the expenses, right? Where I've tried block scheduling, I've tried that stuff, and my brain is just, nope, peace out. Like, we're working on it because we need to learn and grow and develop skills. And right now, my brain is still interested in doing it when I want to, which is unpredictable.
I pretty much almost never want to. That's the problem.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm like, "No, it's not the time for it."
Sometimes 11 p.m. though, my brain's let's get into it. And I'm like,
100%.
this is bad timing, but I'm in.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I went on a tear the other night at about 12:30 AM when I really should have been in bed, but I was like, "Nope, I'm on a roll, I'm going."
Right. Yeah.
So,
Anyway, thanks for letting me go on that little rabbit
no
trail.
problem. I'm excited. You guys, those are awesome things. Corey, what are you excited about?
Oh, I am excited about, in general, for meat and potatoes. I taken a big step back and just let the team do their thing. So I'm excited to keep doing that because I think one of the coolest things that I get to be is a mom to these really silly kids. And I want to do more momming than I want to do CEOing some days. I really want to keep doing that because things are going great. And like I said, it's working really well for us. But then the other side thing that I've been working on in general for the professional organizing world at large is I've been petitioning to the players associations for these professional athletes in they have different players associations, right? And the whole thing about the players association is we want to do what's right for the families. We want to do what's right for your family life, the athlete, like taking care of the families. And one thing that they provide for athletes when they're traded, they provide packing and they provide moving. Guess what they don't provide?
Unpacking and good packing.
Unpacking and organizing. So they will dump the things in the new home for the family to figure out.
I'm just going to jump in really quickly and say, if you have ever been involved in a corporate move, which is essentially what you're describing.
Yes.
When they say, so they will give unpacking services. Unpacking is literally just, we take the things out of the box, we put them on a flat surface, we get rid of the boxes and the packing, that's great, right? But other than that, it's thousands of things that are just laid out. It's 0% helpful.
Correct. And so my mission this year is to get funding or hopefully get unpack and organize services covered for professional athletes. So I've been working with contacting the right people, trying to get into, so it's basically like writing a lot of things like, what is our value? What is our worth? What is the organizer? How does it benefit the family? How does it benefit the athlete? All of these things, right? You have to present your case. And so my goal is by the end of this year to have broken into that and get accepted as a service that is vital for the performance of a professional athlete. So what that means is if we can get that covered, then no matter where the trade happens, if it's in Dallas, Texas, if it's in wherever, California, there would be a group of then professional organizers, like maybe they could find it on a website that Melissa runs or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
And they could choose those organizers to unpack and organize, and the organizer would just send the invoice when they're done, and it would be paid by the Players Association. So I am on a tirade to get that done.
I love that. That's amazing.
As a side project.
Just as my little side hustle to be NFL.
And then I'm really excited to be a lumberjack because I moved to 16 acres and I got a lot of woods and a lot of trees chopped down. So I'm excited about that too.
She's got big plans, and she's going to be abandoning her organizing business to just chop wood.
Pretty much.
Well, this group of people, the three of you, you guys already know it. You're so important to me, and I just appreciate all three of you. I've known you varying degrees. I've known Cori the longest, and Missi the second longest, and Kielyn the least longest. And least longest? That sounds funny.
Works.
Anyway.
Most recently?
Most recent. But I just appreciate when you just meet people where you're like, no, these are the right people. Like, these are the people that are important to me. And I just want to, again, encourage you to go find those people. And if you can get together once a month and go out to dinner like we do, great. If it's virtual on Zoom, great. Whatever that looks like for you, but just do it because you need your people.
We love you.
Well, what's Melissa excited about?
Oh, great question. Okay, so I've talked about this on the podcast like quite a bit recently, in like my podcast with Kim, we talked about a lot. I've definitely been burning out. Like, I've definitely gone through a few cycles of I'm just really tired. There are a lot. I have 2 kids in college, and I've got a lot of challenges going on. I have multiple businesses. I have like my brain's being divided into a lot of sections, and you just go through times where you're like, I can't do any of the things. I need to go inward a little bit. I finally started feeling like a little thawing of my excitement for like last year, survival. Last year, the only thing I was able to do was survive. I was not thriving. This year, I'm starting to feel that thawing of, like I've been working on a couple things recently for Pro Organizer Studio that I'm like, oh no, this is fun. I'm excited to work on this. So basically, the thing I'm excited about is to get excited about stuff again.
Yeah, that's huge.
That simple.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's where I am. Because I love the people. I love the people in our group genuinely, and I love helping people. And I think sometimes I feel pressure of there's so much help to give. That's how we feel about our clients, right? There aren't enough hours in the day to help as many people as I would like to. And like at some point I have to say like, I can't. That is not a worthy goal, but the worthy goal is to do as much as possible to get people to a different place. So that's where I am.
I love that.
And to get all of my residual client stuff out of my garage.
Also, you need to hire Timwell.
No, Tim Well is helping me. That's what we call my husband. Because it's like Ridwell, just for explaining everybody. So we started talking about Ridwell one day, and then I started talking about Tim helping me, and Cori's, well, you have Timwell instead of Ridwell. Yeah, no, but it's just those times where you're just like, I'll deal with it later. And then like you have 4,000 piles of stuff in your garage. That's where I am. And
Your problem is you have space in your garage to
I do.
keep that stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it can just hang out there, but it
can,
hangs
and
out here too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is another, I know for a fact there's another professional organizer, someone that I do not know in person, who lives in my neighborhood. And when I go on walks, I have never in the whole time I've lived here, they have never parked a car in the garage. And I'm like, I know why. I know I don't need them to open the garage doors. I know what that garage looks like because I know what she does for a living. And you don't want to be that person. We're parking all the cars in the garage all the time. So
There's an organizer in my neighborhood too, and I always look inside the garage. It's mostly filled with product.
yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and she's got plenty of room, so I just tell myself type A.
Yeah.
Yep.
Way to rock it.
You do not have to emulate that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here and thanks for sharing with everyone. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
You
This
too.
is great.
And go
I
get your
don't-
own group of people. You can't have mine. They're mine.
See you later, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.